Hello.
All right, we're live.
All right, we're live.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back to the Revitalized podcast.
I'm Justyn.
I'm Elle.
And this is the Revitalized podcast. We got our co-host, Drew. Say hi, Drew.
Hey, guys.
There we go. Drew's here. We're live. It's going to be fun. We got some good things planned today. We're going to do a little bit of a longer episode than we have the last few times. We got some good stuff. We're going to talk about some family health.
Yes.
A little bit of good there. How men can sleep better. That's an important thing, right?
How to minimize menstrual pain with your nutrition, which is very important. Very important. True. There's always something you can do about a problem.
Exactly. But ultimately, I mean, the show's here. If you're just tuning in, Revitalized podcast, it's all about giving families more education how to be healthier, how to be healthier as a family, how to support each other as a family unit, and live better, live longer, because we're healthier. That's right. We want to make families healthy again. And so that's what the show's all about. I think, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we got some news to kick off with first. There was some exciting developments around the Super Bowl. We're not talking about the Bad Bunny stuff, though. We're going to talk about the world heavyweight boxing champion of the world who fought in the world, Mike Tyson. He did some cool stuff. So, Drew, whenever you're ready. I think we got something there. Elle hasn't seen this one yet. I saw it a little bit on the gram, and I was like, "We gotta
don't watch
chat
it,
about
Elle.
this
Wait
one."
for the podcast.
Literally, because I think it was hilarious. It was great, and we're gonna have some good stuff to talk about.
All right.
Drew, whenever you're ready, buddy.
All right, sounds good.
There we go. Ooh, look at that handsome mic. We cannot hear it.
You can't hear it.
No.
Should be fine.
I don't know why. Can you hear it on your end?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Really? Yeah. Okay. We can't hear it. Maybe try refreshing.
I don't think there'd be a YouTube issue. Let me try again, though.
I can hear you totally fine.
Did
you hear the ad?
No.
Nothing. Weird. Okay.
Okay, we can put it on.
Yeah,
here,
basically the idea is.
Oh, I'm
gonna summarize
All right.
the best I can.
Okay.
So we'll have the link for this video. I guess let's just put it in the description and people can watch it at home. But basically, Mike, he did a Super Bowl ad for Maha, Make America Healthy Again. And he was just like basically trash talking processed food, talking about how he got up to like 300 pounds. And he was miserable, super depressed, and then he lost all the weight, and then he fought in boxing again. But he just did it like in the Mike Tyson voice. He's like, "Everybody, listen here, really close. Natural food, it's God-given food. It's much better for people. It's the healthiest way to be. And I all this processed crap we were eating, I just stuffed my face so much. I got up to like 340 pounds. It was brutal. It was ridiculous. I hated myself. But now I'm back in tip-top shape again because I ate apples." And then he like chews on an apple, and he like shadow boxes the air. It was freaking awesome.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And it's encouraging to see more of that, marketed and, becoming more common, becoming more acceptable. Because even during the Super Bowl, of course, there were a lot of commercials around ultra processed foods, and a bunch of these celebrities who were, paid to promote things that have been very clearly shown to not be good for us.
That's right.
But,
unlike this bone broth hot chocolate.
And the reality
that my
is
beautiful wife made.
The reality is is like we have one life. Why not live it to the fullest?
That's right.
You can have like the tastiest food ever. You just have to change up a little things, such as the source of where your ingredients come from. Like it doesn't have to be this complicated thing. You don't have to sacrifice on taste in any way when you choose whole foods over ultra processed foods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean the Big Mike.
The Big Mike.
Well, previously Bigger Mike. Now he's just regularly Big Mike because of the weight loss and everything. So congratulations on that, Mike.
How much did you laugh?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. Like it was like one of your big belly laughs.
It was like big chest laugh, maybe.
Big chest.
Like
right. That's right. You only have chest laughs.
Cool. Exactly.
That's right. That's right. You don't have belly laughs.
That kind of thing.
All right.
But yeah, Mike's the man. Making families healthy. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. And also, if you don't eat properly, he can hit pretty hard. So you don't want to make him mad watching you eat a bag of Doritos, right?
That would be so interesting.
I'll motivate me to eat an apple.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of commercials are gonna have like next year or something like that at the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. I could see them doing something like that, like
I
the
think,
Whole Food Police or something.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, if you got thoughts on this, because you're much bigger with the Super Bowl than I am, but I think after this whole debacle, they're probably going to have to make some major changes for next year, just to like get people's trust and confidence back, and get people to actually watch it. And like they had, I think they had 120 something million people tune in to watch the Super Bowl, and only like 2.2 million that actually watched the halftime show.
Yeah,
crazy.
There are people who like came out of it and stuff, and you know there can be a lot of reasons for that, just preferences, and you know you're having an intermission kind of time.
You just want something that's actually family friendly.
This is actually there's actually a bigger concern with that, because if you actually look at the numbers that everyone's posting, it's saying that it gained 2 million viewers. So there's 2 million extra people that watch the Super Bowl halftime show than watch the Super Bowl in general.
Really?
But that's not, but that's not true. But they've said that with every single Super Bowl in the past as well.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's really, really nice to think, okay, this is going to be a wake-up call to some people, and hopefully next year they'll do something better.
Right.
But we've seen this as a pattern for as long as I can remember, as long as I watched the Super Bowl.
Really?
We've had maybe 1 to 2 in the last 15 years that people have actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, you know, one thing that comes to mind, honestly, is like even any of the previous songs, ones like Super Bowls, a lot of the songs that are promoted, that are sung, have to do with something vulgar or something that isn't healthy, regardless of what language it's sung in. It kind of like the point being, though, is like, we believe, you know, we want things that are good for us. Now we want things promoted that are healthy for us. We want things promoted that are virtuous. And so regardless of what other way, any way that you package it, if you're promoting things like in your music, right, that have to do with vulgarity, that have to do, you know, with not being loyal, that have to do with things that just aren't good for your health or aren't good for your mind and aren't good for your longevity, then, you know, there can be there's repercussions to that. And the further we accept this, the further we accept a lifestyle that isn't healthy for us, then the more prone we are to be dealing with the repercussions of it.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what, like whatever music you listen to, like, there's just no good reason for a kid to have to listen about adults having a bunch of sex and a bunch of drugs and a bunch of other stupid things they shouldn't be thinking about.
When you really think about it, and if you're someone who wants to really optimize their health, what you listen to and what you view has a really big influence over you.
The
it really does. And
so important.
Again, it doesn't matter who's singing it or what language it's in or how it's packaged, right? They kind of packaged it like, oh, love is better than hate. And it's like, well, yeah, of course I would agree with that.
Love.
But
I'm gonna get I gotta be
you know, like vulgarity and crudeness and everything like this, and you know, lacking family values, like the types of things that they were singing about, like they do in other previous Super Bowls too. Okay, that's not love. Right. That's just something that feels good.
Exactly.
That's not something that's
there's no point in having a family value if it doesn't benefit the family.
Yes.
And there's nothing that benefits family about young guys thinking about every chick that walks by like a sex object, or young women thinking that that's how that all men think of her.
And that's real love.
Or kids thinking they need to grow up and think that way, dress that way, act that way, talk that way. There's no way that makes the family better. So it's a stupid value.
And on top of that too, only real, true, genuine, unconditional love can outperform hate.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about a shallow version of love, that actually can't outperform hate. Because it's lacking in its depth. It's lacking in its posture. It has no spine if it's shallow.
Got no spine.
Yeah, got no spine. Has no posture. And so it's not
like private cornstalk. Just blown over in a strong wind. So
it's not able to actually withstand like the hate that they're talking about. Because sometimes love, I think one of the most important things we can do as people is understand the context of different things. And so we have to understand what real love actually is. Because a lot of people will say something like, oh, I love my husband. But then they'll also say, oh, I love ice cream. Or I love that show. So what? Are you saying you love your significant other as much as you love ice cream? Or is there some kind of difference here? you know?
I hope
So
not.
we have to get specific about it, because if we just throw around the word love all the time and it doesn't have you know, context behind it, we're not certain in the definition of it and what and how powerful it actually is, then there's going to be a lot of confusion. And then things that are probably not actually loving or not actually good are going to be masked as love, right? An example would be if you were dealing with a narcissist, right? And then they're like, oh, well, you're not doing what I say, so you clearly don't love me. You're clearly not a loving person. But that's not going by the actual definition of true, genuine, selfless, unconditional love. It's going by the definition of someone's idea of what love is. In other words, what makes them feel good.
Exactly.
What makes you feel good doesn't automatically mean make it love.
Right. So that Mike Tyson ad, though, I'm just kidding. I mean, like, if there's not a lot of love going on in the family, it's virtually impossible for that family to be healthy. So it's a super important conversation, and we should probably do more of it at some point. You know, we should talk about different ways that not just like the nutrition or the exercise stuff, but other ways like families in the academy have actually grown on the relationship side too. That'd be a good idea, because
that's like one of the most important things you can do for your health.
I mean, you got to have a healthy mind, otherwise you will not have a healthy body, period. Okay, so the Mike Tyson ad, and then I think
we actually do have the sound for it now.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, come on. Why don't we play it now?
Let's roll it. Let's roll it. Drew's always coming to save the day.
He is, isn't he?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Denise, she died.
There we go.
My sister's name was Denise. She died of obesity at 25. She had a heart attack. I was so fat and nasty. I would eat anything. I was like 345 pounds. A quart of ice cream every hour. I had so much self-hate.
Okay, pause for a sec. A quart of an ice cream every hour. Okay, like we got to assume that that's exaggerated. That's not humanly possible to sustain.
That's crazy.
Wild.
That's not like, oh, self-love, and that's not by any means something that's natural where the body would actually need it or require it. That shows that there is something about the ice cream, something that's in it, something about it that is causing an unhealthy, almost parasitic relationship with the person.
I mean, like he was fighting at like 210, 220, something like that. So all the images we have of Mike when he's in the ring, he was 120 pounds lighter than he said he got up to on the ice cream. Like just think about that for a second. That's crazy.
All right, let's keep playing it.
Keep going.
I was like 345 pounds. A quart of ice cream every hour. I had so much self-hate when I was like that. I just wanted to kill myself. We're the most powerful.
This is what got me.
And we have the most obese, fudgy people. Something has to be done by processed food.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't that food.
Beautiful? Oh,
that's
man.
Awesome.
Just beautiful. Okay, Drew, what did we cover next?
All right, the next video I got for you is about arsenic in all the popular candies in America.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big one. This is a doozy.
Massive one.
It's a doozy. Okay.
The Florida Department of Health testing 46 candy products from 10 different companies, finding 28 had elevated levels of arsenic. 26 of the candies coming from very popular brands, things that our children are reaching for in the grocery store. This research is the next step in the state's Healthy Florida First initiative to bring transparency back to the grocery store.
Okay, pause for a sec, because that's an interesting point. You notice how they said elevated levels of arsenic, not any levels of arsenic.
Yeah.
Because like, and I think we'll go into it later because Drew found a really cool chart. But they have like these guidelines for how much candy you should eat per year, and they're so ridiculous. They're so low. It's ridiculous. But there's like a big difference between acceptable levels of a toxin and then healthy levels of a toxin. And if something's toxic like arsenic, the levels are like extremely, extremely low. You don't really want any, especially in candy, especially in children.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things like, oh, well, only 26 had elevated levels of arsenic. And doesn't tell us how many have arsenic.
Some things you can't avoid, but when we're talking about something that's already unhealthy, There's a better way to get in your sweet fix than something that is loaded with
Absolutely.
more than just excess sugar.
That's right. That's right. Just nuts.
There's a reasonable expectation that our food supply, especially foods marketed to children, should not contain toxic chemicals. In 26 of the 30 traditional candy brands tested, arsenic was detected at elevated levels.
Well, here to tell us more is Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis. Great to have you with us, First Lady.
Cool.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love this initiative because you started with baby formulas. And if you go on your website,
that's right.
Home, you can see which baby formulas have things like mercury in it, have things like arsenic. And now you're focusing on the candies. Great job at the press conference yesterday. Tell us what your findings are.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we're finding you're right. We started with a baby formula. We found 16 of 24 baby formulas had elevated levels of arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. And we said from the beginning, we're testing things in the food supply. So our next step is into the candy. And you revealed the results of that. Elevated level of arsenic, sometimes 30 and 40 times what other foods might presumably have. So it's very problematic that we're finding it. And also that consumers don't know that it's there, that parents don't know when they're going and they're giving their kids Nerds or Twix.
Yeah, arsenic's not on the ingredients list.
There's arsenic in it. And obviously arsenic in aggregate can be a big problem, especially for little kids.
Yeah, you talked about that yesterday. You said it could cause developmental impacts, effect on the immune system, and cancer even later in life. Before we get to the good candies, tell us some examples of what you found in the bad candies.
Yeah, so 20 and 40 times the amount of arsenic that we might find in other candies, right? And so this is problematic. But here's the thing. When you look at it, the context and perspective is really important. And our Surgeon General said it's not necessarily just one individual piece of candy. It's when you're eating a lot of it. So let me give you a definition of what a lot is. For Nerds, if you're consuming more than 96 Nerds, that is more than what you should be consuming in a year as opposed to arsenic consumption. So kids aren't eating just 96 Nerds. When you think about a box typically has 2,000 Nerds in it, or one of those big boxes that you might get at a movie. That has 8,000 Nerds. So 96, I mean, they're going to eat more than that. And then you look at arsenic in aggregate. So you look at Twix and another, Milky Way or what have you, and it starts to add up, and you're going well beyond what the Florida Department of Health would say is a safe level of arsenic, for a year.
Can you give us some more examples?
Yeah, actually, can we pause the video and transition over to the chart that you found, and we'll just go through it a little bit by little bit. But that's crazy. And also too, like, just for context, arsenic's really bad, but arsenic is one of dozens or hundreds or maybe even thousands of different kinds of chemicals or toxins or things that could be in candy.
Yeah.
But one thing that's I really want to give them props, and regardless of what anybody thinks politically, we don't follow Florida politics enough to really have an opinion on the DeSantis's, but either way, they're targeting things that are going to directly impact children.
Yeah, and that's a green flag.
That's
something
a huge green flag.
We all have to pay attention to, regardless if you have kids or don't have kids or want to have kids or anything like that. If you're an adult, this is something that's relevant to you.
Yeah, I mean, adults eat candy too, and arsenic's not good for anybody.
Well, no, but also in general for our actual society, we have to be paying attention to certain things like this.
Well, I think that if we, as a society, if we can't protect our most innocent people, so children, elderly, disabled, things like that, what else are you going to get right as a society?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're going after the baby formula, the fact that there's a lot of other people going after diapers and snacks and candies and things like that.
And what does all this do to even children in the womb too?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because she mentioned aggregate, which is a great point, because a lot of the time, one of the big cop-outs that most companies or manufacturers have is they use the whole idea that the dose makes the poison.
Yeah.
And that completely takes out the context of the poison accumulating over time and increasing the dose. And so
it's literally called bioaccumulation. It can accumulate in your body.
So you
right?
take
Just how good things
things
are supposed to accumulate in your body, right? For storage, such as vitamin D, right? So you can have a storage amount in your body, like over the winter. Bad things can also accumulate in your body too.
Exactly. And so, yeah, sure. You have one candy bar, not a big deal. Totally safe, because they adjust the formula and they adjust everything to follow regulations. but like the regulations aren't built to see what happens when you eat 100 Hershey's chocolate bars. It's per bar or per pack or per box or whatever. And like the first lady mentioned, that's just not realistic. I mean, like, name one kid that has 3 nerds, has 3 chips, has 1 square of a chocolate bar. It just doesn't happen. People don't do it either. Like, it's just not based on our real life. And so the test is kind of misleading, making it look like it's...
Some people do that.
Who?
1 square chocolate or something.
Maybe.
Okay.
Not a kid though. I mean, like, no one's getting a can of Pringles.
But not the majority of people know.
No one's getting a can of Pringles and then reaching in and taking 1 chip. That just doesn't happen. That does not happen.
Not for the majority of people.
No, it does not happen.
Okay. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay. So what do we got here? Black Forest gummy bears. Arsenic per. Does that say kilo? It's a little bit hard to read.
Arsenic parts per billion.
Parts per billion.
Per
Okay.
billion.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So 16 pieces. An adult 40 pieces. Wow. So safe consumption limit per year. 16 pieces. Who eats only 16 gummy bears a year?
Yeah.
Who eats?
If you're like,
who eats 16 gummy bears a serving?
Man.
Right? Like, that's wild. Okay. So, and those are the, or I guess the organic ones didn't have arsenic, so that's cool. Laffy Taffy, 4 pieces a year. Nerds, 96 pieces a year. Sweet Tarts. I don't even know what Sweet Tarts are. You know what Sweet Tarts are?
I've never heard of that. It could be an American brand.
Must be an American thing.
Wait, guys. They're very, very popular.
Really?
Okay.
And not just an American thing. They've been around for a long, long time.
Okay, we're just
I've never heard of
out of
Sweet
the
Tarts,
loop. I grew up on a farm. I don't know.
That's
Anyways,
I thought you were going to say
one of the better
in Saskatchewan on a farm. Yes.
Yeah. I'm Saskatchewanese.
It's one of the better things to be out of the loop on, for sure.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was also on a farm in BC too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. 24 pieces. Sweet Tarts rope, 3 pieces. Hershey's milk chocolate, 1.5 bars.
And so
who has 1 chocolate bar a year? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, before I knew about health, that used to be my favorite chocolate bar, was the Hershey's cookies and cream. I didn't have half of one. No.
Exactly. No, 1.5.
Or 1.5.
Still.
Yeah, well, actually, no. I probably had, like, I don't think I had that much
all
access
year.
To it. All year, actually, it might have been around that. If
Right.
anything, yeah. But I
Who
wouldn't.
has
have been
only
an
4
adult.
Twizzlers? You have 4 Twizzlers every half a movie.
One part of this too is to also remember all of the chemicals that can be found in our water too.
Yeah.
And so again, this isn't a doom and gloom thing. It is the purpose of bringing this up is not just like, oh my God, the world is so bad.
No.
All of these candies that we already knew were unhealthy for us are actually more unhealthy for us than we realized. You know, it's just like, hey, I want to have a better life. So in order to have a better life, I need to make better choices. Okay, what can I do to make better choices? Well, I have to be aware of the bad choices, but then I also have to be aware of the good choices too. So one of the aspects of making better choices in order to have a better life, right? Because obviously better choices equals a better life, or at least a better chance of having a better life, is choosing better food to eat. This includes better desserts, because there are so many better options when it comes to like easy snacks for your kids, either in something you make or even going to a local bakery.
Exactly.
That would likely actually be better than getting something from like the gas station.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, you are the best chef that I've ever even met. What are some
Haven't
things?
met many chefs, babe.
You don't know that? I know people.
Of course.
I've been to restaurants.
That's true. That's true.
I know at least 3 chefs, not including Drew. So that's 4 right there.
Okay, all right. Anyways,
boom.
So one of the things that you can make for yourself, and again, I think that one of the best ways that you can actually get like sweet treats, because who doesn't want dessert? Okay, dessert is amazing. So the thing is like, again, when we're bringing this up, we're not trying to say like, oh my gosh, you know, if you want something like just give up dessert or you know, just have celery for dessert. You know, it's so great, but it's healthy for you. Like that's
Hey,
not
you
where
want
we're
to lick
coming
some
from.
lettuce after
You want to
dinner?
lick some lettuce?
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
That's not what
Let's
we're
have
talking
some
about. It's
tofu
just like,
burgers.
hey, this thing that's made that we've been shown is healthy, right? Like these candy bars and like different types of candy and stuff. It's not only just higher in sugar. It's something that can genuinely be very, very bad for your kids, even long term, because it can accumulate in the body.
Well, and again,
because it can affect like their children, their development. It can affect even how well they score in school.
Right. Well, and that is just arsenic.
That's
not including the dyes. It's not
Mhm.
including the preservatives. It's not including the seed oils. It's not including the emulsifiers. It's not including like it's one of the dozens or hundreds or maybe thousands of chemicals and toxins that can be in these ultra processed foods. I mean, it's crazy.
And you know, again, if we make better choices, though, we're gonna have a higher percentage of having a better life.
That's right.
It gives us a better chance.
So we got a policy around here. We don't share bad news without giving people the good
Exactly.
news. We don't bring up a problem without having a solution.
We're not fear-based, okay?
No, we're just it's important to be aware. If you didn't know this, then you don't have an option. At least with awareness comes free will. You can make multiple choices. If you only know that one road exists, you can't take a different road.
Exactly. How can you be responsible when you only know what not to do?
Exactly. Okay, so baby, what's one of your favorite at-home candy replacements? Mostly for me, but also for the children.
Okay, so one thing that we actually like to make and we babysit kids.
I'll be honest, she babies me more than anybody else.
Oh my gosh, that's just because we don't have a baby quite yet.
That's right.
Anyways, one of the things that we like to make, because we like to babysit some of our friends' kids and stuff, is I will make this thing called banana boats. And so basically, you just combine, you know, like some organic nut butter with some raw honey, and you put in cinnamon, and you put in some Celtic sea salt, and you put in whatever you want, and then you just put it over a raw banana, and you kind of cut little slices into the banana, put it on top, and then you're able to eat that almost partially out of the actual like part of the peel. Right, so it looks like a boat. That's one way.
You just take off the top little 1/3 or quarter of the peel, and then the rest of it's just like a long hot dog bun.
There's that. Another example is, of course, dates. Medjool dates are extremely tasty. You can even get like some pretty half decent
They're dangerously tasty.
They're incredibly tasty. They literally taste like caramel. Okay, so you can buy that very easily. And again, we're talking about quick stuff, right? Just a few examples, but there's endless examples online. And no, you don't have to make a dessert with protein powder or use 16 dates or something like this. What I'm talking about here with the date part, right? Because we don't need to use things in excess, is you can take like one date and you can put like dark chocolate in it, right? Like an actual dark chocolate, like organic dark chocolate bar. Around 80% is where you want to aim for if possible. And then the sweetness will come from the Medjool
And if the arsenic stuff didn't tell you anything, just make sure to get a brand that's third-party tested for metals.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to
a lot of cadmium
and stuff.
A lot of cadmium can be in like in some of the cheaper like Dutch cacao options. And on top of this too, it's very important on another aspect to choose better quality chocolate. We're very selective in the cacao powder that we get, because a lot of the cacao that's even processed has to do with places in Africa that have been shown and proven to even have children working on their behalf. So just because it's so popular. And so when you see something that is so cheap, sold
there's
so
a
cheap,
reason why it's cheap.
There's a reason why for them to be able to have the margins to be $1 billion company, but then sell products that are as cheap as they are.
And speaking of the budget, I don't want to interrupt you, and I have one question on the candy thing after this. But Drew and I, we were out running some errands like this week, like a few days ago, picking up some dog food. And at one of the stores, we saw this woman coming out, and in her cart, she had 2 cases, right, Drew? 2 cases of beer? Yeah, 2 cases of beer. Let's just undercut that. Let's go conservative. Let's say she got them on sale and they're like $20 a case, which, you know, if you drink alcohol, you know that'd be like a steal. So let's say go conservative again. She does 1 case a week for the house, her husband, friends, adult children, whoever, right? That's just the beer alone at $20 a week. We're talking like $80 a month.
Yeah.
We're talking,
that can add up.
Yeah. You're talking like $940 a year just on alcohol. You take that $940 a year that you were spending on poison and you put it towards like some organic produce, some healthier fruits for the kids, et cetera, et cetera. Like the money's there. And don't get us wrong. We're not like economy delusionists where we think that everything's just hunky dory and our politicians are going to save us from all the problems in the world. We absolutely have to take responsibility, and times are real tough. And a lot of people are working a lot more than they should need to. And the stress and the pressure and all that kind of stuff is just wild. So you do what you can when you can. But the idea is, I don't think there's been one person that's joined the academy that, especially Elle, has not been able to find a way where they can save money and find a better alternative for cheaper. Just because the options are there, the resources are there, the strategies, the budgeting, the deals, the sales, all like the idea that health is a thing only accessible to the wealthy, completely untrue. I mean, we've had people join the academy that we basically have to do pro bono work because they're on welfare and they can really only afford their own life. And, we'll do that from time to time when the need arises. But even with extremely limited funds, they still find a way to make it work because once you have some support, once you have a good plan, once you get your eyes open to possibilities, we have awareness. And so now that we have more choices and we can do a couple things, we can get creative and we can get resourceful, like you can make it work, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but just I really wanted to talk on that for a second, because the whole idea of like the I can't afford to be healthy, that's crazy talk. That is just, you don't know how yet, but every single person can. It's just a matter of, are we resourceful enough to figure it out and do better than where we're at now and then do better again later? It's not a matter of what resources do you have. It's just how resourceful can you be? That's really the only question that it comes down to. And then how much support you got. So everybody can afford to be healthier than they are right now, period. Like that's the matter. Like if you jump out of a tree, you're going to fall on the ground. Like you're not going to fall upward to the sky. That doesn't happen, right? It's just a law. So I wanted to make that up for a second. And then on the candy thing, on the candy replacements, one of my personal favorites is the fruit leathers.
Yeah.
Can you just run through real quick for anybody who has some extra equipment and wants to put a little bit more time into it? Because I think that it's like, it's a hit. I love them. Kids love them. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's super easy.
They're pretty great. I like to make my fruit leathers with chia seeds. And so, that makes them even tastier too. And so it's very easy. Just look up fruit leather recipes. But basically, I just make mine with banana and chia seeds. You don't need any added sugar or anything like that. So you just blend together fruit, and then you add chia, and then you lay it out.
Add a little raspberry in there for some tang.
Exactly. And then you can lay them out flat, like on a dehydrator sheet, and you dehydrate it around 108. I believe it's for around like maybe 16 hours, something like that. But it's on a low temperature, and you can keep it for a long time. Bananas
are super cheap.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and like the difference, especially when it comes to produce, the difference between conventional or mass produced and organic is really not that much. The only big difference when it comes to food cost when you're going organic or natural is with like the boxed goods, or the
like
brands,
the snacks,
the packaged stuff.
The stuff when they put they make something that only has 150 grams worth, and they sell it for like $25, and it's something that you can easily make yourself at home.
The gluten-free stuff that doesn't need to be gluten-free, the marketing, the labels, all those things. But like a non-organic apple versus an organic apple, we're talking like a matter of 10 cents an apple,
so really
not a massive
and
deal.
On top of that too, when it comes to eating better, making better choices, right, which can contribute to a higher probability of having a better life. The big important thing to remember is like, you either have cost or convenience. If you aren't able to You know, if you want something more convenient, it's going to have to be a bigger cost. But if you want something, you know, a lower cost, it's going to be less convenient. So yes, it is less convenient to maybe make fruit leather or make a few, you know, like bake your bread at home or do something like this, right? But at the same time, it's going to be a less cost to you. And it's also going to be very, very healthy for you and your family.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Way more convenient if your kid's one of those ones that has a bad reaction to the 4 or 5 different dyes and fruit by the foot, and then has a temper tantrum for 2 hours because they can't control themselves because they just got poisoned. Not the kid's fault. It's just like they're young, they're developing, they're not able to control themselves totally emotionally yet. And then we just loaded a ton of stimulants in them. Like we give adults slack when they get drunk. How is it any different for a kid that gets overloaded on sugar and chemicals?
That's a good
the same
point.
thing, but you don't have to deal with it because you're not loading all the dyes and stuff in the kids, and so the kids can be happy and everybody great. You know, so like, yeah, it's a little bit more work, but is it really more work if we get rid of the temper tantrums? Is it more work, or is it actually a heck of a lot less work? Because the temper tantrum itself is a full-time job.
And on top of that too, I think that there is this idea that it's far too difficult to arrange your life in a way where you can eat better, you do add exercise into your routine, or, you know, you choose to change your habits up. But that's just going to, it's a transition when you want to change certain things in your life, no matter what they may be, right? So that could even be like, you want to play more video games. Well, guess what? If you want to do something, then you can figure out a way to do it. Not that I'm recommending video games or anything like this, but the point being though is like when you want to change something in your life, you can do it. It just may take a transition period to do it.
Yeah,
but you have.
I mean, that's a great point. Like it sounds funny, but that's a great point because no one's ever been like, oh, I gotta change my sleeping habits so I can stay up later and play more games.
Yeah, and I can't seem to figure it out.
Yeah, you know, I've really been wanting to play games more and like play more Xbox, but like I'm too busy managing my stock portfolio. Like nobody says that. It's always the opposite. It's always, oh, I can't work out because I don't have the time. I can't do this because I don't have the time. I can't eat better because I can't afford it. But like video games, snowboarding, like fun. People will find a way to do fun things. If they enjoy it, they'll find a way to do it most of the time.
Yeah.
It's the things that they don't know how to have fun with yet that they make excuses for, like exercise, like meal prepping, like doing a detox, like going to bed on time and then having a good productive morning. They don't know how fun that can be. And so they think that their only fun option is to stay up an extra 2 hours and play Call of Frickin' Duty because that's the only thing that they know.
You know, it's really funny too, because I used to hate cooking because I considered it such a job. But, you know, it's exactly what you said, babe. It's just unless you find a way to make that healthy habit fun, it's going to be difficult to actually do it.
And nobody wants to do more work unless you're a workaholic.
Exactly.
In that case, you only really want to do work that brings you money.
Yeah,
for being honest.
Yeah, certain type of work.
Right. And meal prepping is not going to bring you money. And so you're just probably not going to do it because it's not fun enough or you're already doing other work. And so we have to find a way to make it enjoyable.
So one of the ways that I found to make like that really enjoyable is to have maybe some music on, just like with cleaning, right? Like make it a satisfactory sort of experience, and you know, like have a cute apron, or you know, have a podcast or a movie. That's okay. I do the cooking anyways. Have a podcast. You don't need an apron because I have the cute apron.
That's
anyways.
True. That's true.
But you know, find a way to make it fun. If you find a way to make it fun, then you will likely do that thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Drew, we kind of went off a little bit on the rails there. Did we cover all the news?
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Even a little extra.
Yeah. Okay. What's
Even a
what's
little
up
bit extra.
next, buddy? I'm sorry, we're not making your job easy today.
We can definitely do a Q&A if you want to run another 15-20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Let's do that.
All right. Sounds good. I got some questions here, and because we didn't explain this a few podcasts ago, I'm going to name names of fictional people. So either books, movie characters, historical figures that are actually real. I'm just going to come up with a name and a place for the people who ask the questions for the podcast, and you guys can guess who it is.
It's a fun.
All right.
Game. I like this.
All right.
I have gotten 2 so far.
which
So,
says
not
a
to
lot
brag,
because we've
but-
been doing this for 3 months.
So not to brag, but
So not to brag, but I
Yeah,
am
for
much
sure.
better at this game. All right. I got 4 questions for you. We'll see how long they take. All right.
Okay.
Okay. The first one from Anne. She's from Prince Edward Island. Why do some people crave sugar more than others?
Ooh. Okay.
Okay,
Why do
there's
some people
several
crave
reasons for that.
sugar more than others?
There's several reasons for that. But wait, sorry, maybe I'm not understanding the game right. We're not supposed
No.
to
No. So the audience,
there's two, right?
the audience is supposed to guess the character that's asking this question.
Okay.
And then we're just supposed to answer it.
Okay, good. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We don't
All
have
right.
to guess. Like we can.
I mean, I kind of
but-
already have a couple
yeah.
guesses, but anyways,
Okay.
there's
can
a
do our
few
guesses at
reasons
the
for
end.
that. There's a few reasons for that. So one of the reasons is there's an emotional reason. Usually, there can also be a social reason, and there can also be a physical reason too.
Mhm.
So
A lot.
emotionally,
A lot of physical reasons.
yes. So emotionally, one thing that's common is when we consume sugar, it can make us feel good, right? And so sometimes in a desire to feel good, just like with anything else that can be a craving, we will go for that sugar more. And oftentimes people who are perhaps wanting more comfort, again, just like any other kind of craving can be based in, even if it has to do with certain types of entertainment or anything like this, a person can crave sugar because they associate comfort specifically with sugar, because it's something that's promoted, it's something that has good marketing, it's something that's seen as sweet, right? Seen as good, seen as something that makes you feel good, seen as comfort, seen as a reward, seen as a treat. So that's the emotional reason. The social reason would be something where it was conditioned into you to be something that is okay or good or safe or, just community based to have in your life, right? So a lot of different cultures or, because it's not just the culture as in your nationality, but it's also the culture as in where you came from, like where you grew up. So that could be your town, your family, etc.
And just like just what you see, like
what
in
you
media,
see.
in movies, in books, in shows, commercials, like it's everywhere.
People naturally, they want to feel good, right? They want to have fun. And so if you see that socially as something that is good and that is fun and that is common, right? Like who wants to turn down going out for ice cream? As an example, right? Like, so socially, if that's been a reminder, something you've associated with comfort, with fun, because of your life experience, then that can be a social reason for it. A physical reason for it is, I find one of the main reasons is because people really want to feel energized. This can be one of the reasons why some people can crave coffee more than others, because you feel with carbohydrates, especially simple sugars, right? You can feel that energy right away. And so sometimes people can have this craving for sugar, and it's not necessarily because it's sweet itself. Yeah, sure, that feels good. That feels nice, right? It's good on the taste buds, this kind of idea. But maybe it's literally because they want more energy. And some people, they feel fatigue even harder than others. It's just like how pain perception can be different, right? Energy perception can be different as well. And so, you can just be needing energy even more. And so maybe that's why you're craving sugar.
And if someone's trained their body to recognize, hey, every time I eat a bowl of ice cream, I get 1,000 calories in 5 minutes, that's going to be programmed in. And if there's ever a need for more clean energy, not just energy, because a lot of people, they have like excess calories, they have an abundance of energy available to the body, but because their nervous system might be stressed out, because their sleep might be out of whack, because their hormones might be totally out of balance, microbiome might be communicating to their immune system poorly, many reasons just why the communication in the body might be wrong, electrically, chemically, genetically, whatever. Instead of you getting a craving, hey, I need more clean energy, I need more efficient energy, so I should sleep more, or so I should take some time and relax. I really feel like I just want to just breathe and chill out. You get a craving for ice cream, because that's the most readily available thing that your body can send a signal for. And it might not even be ice cream, it might just be in general more energy. And then you interpret that as ice cream because that's what you went to the last time you got the sugar craving, but it was just an energy craving, that kind of thing. And also, one more thing that a lot of people don't really talk about much, maybe because they don't like to talk about it because it kind of sucks and it's a bit of a gross conversation. Parasites can absolutely make people crave weird things that they shouldn't normally crave. One of the biggest ones is going to be sugar.
And one of the main reasons for that, without going too deep into the parasite conversation, because that is multiple
Like
podcasts
3
in and of
episodes,
itself. But anyways, one of the main reasons for that is because parasites will actually eat food. Sometimes they can eat like certain nutrients in foods before even you get a chance to actually absorb that yourself, because they're their own organisms, right? And so they can consume that for themselves and literally steal your food, hijack your food from you.
Well, and not just that, but they also love it when your body is suppressed, when your immune system is out of whack, is dysfunctioning, when your nervous system is in stress mode, not growth mode. They love it when the brain doesn't think clearly, because when you don't get good enough sleep, when you don't think clearly, when your cognitive abilities are not where they should be, you're way less likely to do good, healthy things for your body. And although parasites need us to survive, they'd want to survive as easily and comfortably as possible. And so if your immune system is constantly attacking a foreign invader, if your nervous system is constantly making things more difficult for them to move around,
like
because
in excess.
In excess. If your diet is super clean and your body is really nourished and there isn't much left over for them to eat well and multiply more, if your microbiome is super, super diverse and they have a hard time surviving because they constantly at war with other strains of beneficial bacteria, the list goes on and on and on. They want your body suppressed because it's easier for them to survive. It's easier for them to multiply. They have a much more comfortable time living in you. And that's not ideal for us. That's ideal for them. And so they send food cravings. They send emotional signals. They send pheromone disruptors, making you like people that you wouldn't normally like because you guys share similar parasitic problems, on and on and on. So one of the biggest ones that we've seen, and we've had a lot of success with people with really severe sugar cravings, is getting these freaking parasites the freak out. You know, like we've had people that full-blown sugar addicted to literally not even liking the taste of their favorite candies anymore, their favorite desserts anymore, not having to say no because of willpower, like literally just not enjoying it because their taste buds had changed and their nervous system had rewired and their body was just back to normal again, not being sent all these false signals by the candida, by the bacteria, by the worms, by whatever other kinds of parasites were in folks, making their wires get all jumbled up and crossed, you know? So that's a huge one. And everything else is also really important too, like the emotional side and the habitual side. Those are all big. Hopefully there was a good answer in there somewhere.
I think there was quite a few answers in there.
I hope so.
All right, let's go over maybe one more question.
All right, sounds good. We got one more question here. This is from Carter from Virginia. They're writing in asking,
sorry, can I get that one?
Yeah, I got that too.
That's 3. Yeah.
Can underwear really cause Can underwear really cause infertility?
Absolutely.
It can be correlated with infertility.
Technically, yeah. They're not just underwear, just like synthetic fibers in general, like polyester in general. There's been studies done on dogs, for example, male and female dogs, and they put these polyester pants on the dogs and fertility goes way down, way down. One thing that we know, and this is not just for clothing, this is also a big reason why a lot of personal care products and beauty care products,
feminine hygiene too, right?
Men hygiene, cologne, aftershave, mouthwash, etc. One of the things we know is that if something makes contact with your skin, either on the outside, like on your wrist or on your arm or something, or on the inside, like in through your mouth, like a mouthwash type of thing, or like eye drops, nasal spray, etc., they absorb through the tissue. But in this case, it's actually sometimes even worse than if you just ingested it, because it doesn't have to go through your normal gut defenses. It doesn't get sterilized and changed at all by your gastric acids. It doesn't get affected by enzymes in the same way. It doesn't get affected by your bacteria in the same way. And so it can actually become a bit more toxic than if you just ate it in general. And that's why we have so many flipping warnings on toothpastes and mouthwashes and perfumes and colognes and antiperspirants and shampoos And they're even starting to have warnings on clothes now because the information is getting so widely available to the public. People are complaining. But yeah, if you're a dude or a lady, it affects men and women too. If you have a bunch of synthetic fibers making contact with your skin, releasing these parabens and these phthalates and all these EDC, endocrine disrupting chemicals in through your skin, especially on the parts of our bodies where we get really hot and sometimes things can get damp because of sweat or humidity, under our armpits, around the groin, behind our knees, in on the inside of our arm, et cetera, like the spots where just naturally you build up a lot more moisture.
Yeah.
It just soaks right in and it gets
Yeah.
into the bloodstream. It gets all throughout the lymphatic system, and it can cause a lot of problems. It can really make our hormones go haywire. And we've seen people really just by changing the amount of synthetics in their home, from bedding, clothes, cleaning products,
materials,
just that, like really even before they were able to make any major dietary changes or purify their water or do much of a detox worth talking about, just that alone was able to help a ton with their hormonal imbalance symptoms and just getting things like relaxed and calm again.
So one thing you can do for yourself is to get organic underwear, if that's possible. And if not, one thing to at least minimize is especially, just having more airflow and the things that you do directly put onto your body, like different perfumes and different cleaning products.
And just something that's a little bit looser so you don't get so flipping hot all the time. Like the constant heat that can also cause issues too.
Having good airflow, like in your home and on your body, is really important. So there's that. And then also keep in mind, if the scent that you're using stays on your body for a really long time, that's not a good sign. There's actually, one person that we were helping who was dealing with a synthetic cologne problem. And I would actually smell their cologne in the same room that they were sitting in for 2 days past the time that they were actually sitting in the room.
Yep.
Because the cologne was that strong. And I do have a powerful sniffer. So that is.
And powerful facial expressions when that sniffer is stimulated.
Is activated.
Guys, sometimes it's crazy. We'll be in the mall and there's just someone walking around and they just got
a powerful strong perfume or something
and she'll just literally they'll be walking right beside us and she'll smell them a couple feet before they get to us and just real quick.
I'll cover my face to look at Justyn and oh my god.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's a real thing. But anyways, if possible, get better underwear.
Yeah, if you're gonna invest,
cotton is great.
If you're gonna invest in any kind of more natural or organic clothing, underwear, bras, things that make contact with your private parts.
Two things for women is getting sports bras over wired bras. That's going to be something really important. On top of that too is I would consider it even mandatory to get organic feminine hygiene. So organic cotton, unscented feminine hygiene. Okay. So that's really, really, really important. It has to be fragrance free. And that's just because at least with undergarments, you still have a level of protection. But with feminine hygiene, of course, you kind of bypass those physical barriers, if you catch my drift, and you make yourself more vulnerable. There's been a lot of heavy metals and different chemicals that are associated with infertility that have been found on multiple popular feminine hygiene products. And that's not hard to find.
And they can cause some real big problems.
And it's just, you don't need it. The world is already polluted. So there's no sense in making choices that can lead to your own body being further polluted. Exactly. There's certain things we can't avoid, but there's certain things we can do. So, use better quality cleaning products. So things that at least have less chemicals in them. Usually things that are less popular are actually better. Have better
local brands. They can be really good a lot of the time.
For sure. Even simple things, right? Like vinegar or lemon, different things like this, even for your body. If you take actually more baths, that can also really, really help with the overall scent of your body as well. Using different flowers and different natural scents and stuff. Drinking more water can also really help with BO. And there are many aluminum-free natural deodorants out there as well, and shampoos and et cetera, et cetera. But also having good airflow in your home and on your body as well. So, just making sure that you're not too constricted in the clothes that you wear. That's going
Cotton,
to be
linen.
Yeah. So breathable
Get
fabrics.
some plants in your home.
Yes.
For the love of God.
Yes.
Get some plants. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, again, hopefully there's something good in there too.
Absolutely.
I think we got to close out though.
Yeah, we do. There's so many more things we wanted to talk about, but perhaps we'll have to go over that.
But that will
next
be
week.
for next time.
Yes.
That's right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Revitalized podcast. We appreciate you guys' time. Thank you all for being here. Hopefully you got something good. At least laughed a couple times.
Let us know what your favorite part was in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Also, if you guessed any of those characters from the 2 questions, let them know in the comments. Show everybody how knowledgeable you are on pop culture, fiction, nonfiction. I got one of them, so that's just for the record. Proud of that one. Anyways, have an amazing day. Thanks, guys, for watching. Have an awesome end of the week. Have an awesome start to the weekend. If you like something from this episode, then you're probably going to like our other episodes too. So go to the channel, find something that you like. If it helped you at all, share it with somebody else that could also help. If you got some questions, comment them down below. If you got some advice or some criticism or some like, hey, Justyn, you're not funny enough. You got to work on them jokes, big man. I'm open to suggestions. If you got dad jokes, I love to hear them so I can repeat them and then pretend that they're my own. That'd be phenomenal. Either way, have a great day. God bless you. God bless your family. Thank you for watching. It's the Revitalized podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's continue to make families healthy again.
That's right.
Absolutely.
God bless everybody.
Thank you, guys.